purpose. These are supposed to be God's chosen people. Do you want to associate yourself with that, sis? Is that what being a baddie is? A hot girl, a city girl? Open your legs wide up to everybody. You don't need a man on. No, that's madness. That's wicked. While we out here, like our brothers was going into earlier, is to wake up the lost sheep, right? To fish and to look and to redeem that the lost sheep back to where? The Most High, back to Yahushua. Read this in Proverbs 24. 27 and 23. It's like 27 and 23.
Book of Proverbs 27 and 23. Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks.
Right.
And be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks.
The Lord said we got to be diligent to know the state of the flock. Who's the flock? That's the lost sheep of the house of Israel. The Lord has commanded us to be diligent to know the state of our flocks, to know the state of our people, how we're living in the last days, what's going on in these certain areas, to be able to relate to one another. Why? So the Lord is commanding us to do these things, so when we do come out, we have that wisdom, that knowledge, that understanding to be able to relate to our people, to not have that holier than thou spirit. I know more than you spirit. Right? So the Lord said, be thou diligent to know the state of thy flock. We doing?
And look well to thy herds.
Right, and look well to thy herds. Give me Jeremiah chapter 16 and verse number 16. Bring this out in John 24.
This is the book of John, chapter 21 and verse 15.
Right.
So when they had denied Yahushua, said to Simon and Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these?
Right.
He saith unto him, Yeah, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee.
Right, and every man says that they love the Lord. Right, every woman says they love the Most High. You go into the world, you put out these different posts, do you love God? 90% of the time you're going to have a so-called black and Hispanic man say they love God. But yet they have no works to prove. You have brothers in the truth that say they love the Lord. But what works are they doing? All right, are they really bearing forth fruit before the Most High? Right, this morning we went into a lesson. Are different brothers in the truth applying the things that brothers went over with meekness, with repentance, loving the Most High, doing these different things to bring forth your fruits to the Lord? So he said, lovest thou me more than these? We doing?
I love thee. He said unto him, Feed my lambs. He saith unto him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He said unto him, Yeah, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee.
Right.
He saith unto him, Feed my sheep.
The Lord said,
Feed my sheep.
just stand aside.
Feed my sheep.
The Lord commanded us to come out and feed the sheep. Right. We got brothers saying, well, hold on, it's not a commandment to teach. Right? It's not in the first part, but it's not a commandment to go out and do the work. And the Lord said, feed my sheep. Right. That's a real letter. So that's why we have to come out and endure the codes. No matter if it's negative 20, negative 10, no matter if it's 1,000 degrees, the Lord has commanded his servants to come out and feed the sheep.
Right.
Give me Jeremiah chapter 16.
Proverbs 20 and 4.
Book of Jeremiah chapter 16 and verse 16. Behold, I will send forth many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them.
Right, and this the season that we're in. It's that fishing season.
Right.
That season to gather up as much fish as possible. Like our fathers, you had Peter. Peter was a fisher. Right, look, give me Matthew 4. I believe that's Matthew 4 and verse number 15. So we gotta have that spirit of fishing. Coming out and fishing, trying to get that lost sheep, that lost fish, and reel them in to the Lord. Right. Read on.
And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them.
Right, because after fishing season, it's hunting season. Right, the Lord deals with different seasons. Read Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. The Lord has different seasons set up for different things. Right now, that main season is what is fishing season. All right, that season for you to be gathering in the lost sheep. That season for you to come out and teach fervently, diligently. Show the state of, to be able to look forward to the state of your flock. Read on.
And they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks.
So now read Matthew chapter 4, verse 15.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 4 and verse 15. Right. The land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, by the way of the sea beyond Jordan and Gilead of the Gentiles. The people which sat in darkness saw a great light, and to them which sat in the region and the shadow of death, light is sprung up. From that time Yahushua began to preach and to say, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And Yahushua, walking by the sea of Gilead, saw two brethren, Simon and Peter and Andrew and his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishers. And he said unto them, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men.
Do what?
Follow me, and I will make you fishers of
So
men.
he said, follow me and I will make you fishers of men. So again, our whole purpose is to come out and to fish and find out and seek out the elect. To seek out that lost sheep. To seek out that one brother that's been straying away. Give me Jeremiah chapter 15 verse 16. Why? Because again, we've been cast away from our heritage. We've been cast away from the laws, the statutes, the ordinances, the commandments. All right, and the Lord, being that just shepherd that he is, he's not going to leave a sheep astray. Right? Give me Jeremiah 23 verse number 1 real quick. Hold that, give me Jeremiah 23 1. The Lord is not going to lead his sheep away as much as you're already led away. The curses is enough. Imagine the Lord bringing us back to him and we still scattered. Come on, bring this up.
This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 23 and verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture.
So we're already destroyed enough. Right? We're scattered enough. We're already throughout the four corners of the earth. Read on.
Saith the Lord. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God of Israel against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings.
So because Israel is scattered, now the Lord has to get up with the man that scattered them. And because he has to get up with the man that scattered them, he has to raise up other men to bring them back in. Who's the man that the Lord is using to bring them back in? That's the servants, the prophets, the teachers, the evangelists, the servants of the Most High. The men that go out and do the work of the Lord to bring Israel back to this marriage. Give me Jeremiah chapter 50.
Jeremiah 15 verse 16. Cut off the sword from Babylon, and him that handleth the 15:17. Israel is a scattered sheep. The lions have driven him away.
So the Lord said Israel is a scattered sheep, and the lions have driven him away. Who's the lions? That's the other nations. Give me Zechariah chapter 1. All right, Zechariah chapter 1 and verse number 17. So again, us being a scattered people, the Lord has to bring us back together. That's the classic Genesis 49 and 1, Zephaniah 2 and 1, etc. The Lord has commanded us to come back together in the last days with brotherly love, with the unity. And the Lord got us keeping the Feast of Purim. The Lord got us traveling from city to city, keeping the Lord's high holy days. And that's the spirit that we need to be in, not just as congregations, not just as camps, but as a nation. Going back to that spirit that we had in the ancient world. So bring this up.
This is the book of Zechariah chapter 1 and verse 17. Cry yet, saying, thus saith the Lord of hosts, my cities through prosperity shall yet be spread abroad, and the Lord shall yet comfort Zion, and shall choose Jerusalem. Then lifted I up my eyes, and saw, behold, 4 horns. And I said unto the angel that talked with me, what be these? And he answered me, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem.
So Zechariah, he's seeing this vision that the angel gave him. He said he's seen 4 horns, and these 4 horns that scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. The same way how the pastors scattered the lost sheep. The same way how the lions drove away Israel in Jeremiah the 50th chapter. Zechariah's seen the same vision, and he's seen these 4 horns, which is a spiritual number for these different nations, these different powers, scattered the lost tribes of Israel, scattered into China, scattered into Japan, to Babylon the Great, Brazil, etc. So he's seeing these 4 horns. Read on. And again, these 4 horns have scattered us throughout the 4 corners. Read on.
And the Lord shewed me 4 carpenters. And then said I, what come these to do? And he spake, saying, these are the horns which have scattered Judah.
Hey, sister, you have 1 minute for the Lord? Sister. 1 verse. You see yourself in the sun? You see yourself in the sun, sister? Look on the sun real quick. You see yourself in the sun? All right, 3 seconds. You see a so-called race or nationality in the sun? Word.
Nowhere.
Well, would you be a so-called black woman?
No, I'm a bad bitch.
Hold on, sister. Hold on. Now, why would you call yourself that?
Because I don't.
Do you know what that word goes back to?
I ain't gonna fake it. It's called. I ain't got time for it.
No, sister, you do got time. Because you just called yourself something that's not even cool to call yourself. This world taught you it was cool to call yourself that.
Right.
Last time I checked, it was cool for a sister that called herself a princess.
Like I
Alright.
said, you're right. You're right.
So what you know, are you a princess or are you that diva?
Princess.
So why would you call yourself a diva?
I gotta be in the kid.
Hold on, sir. Before you walk away, these are questions that you gotta ask yourself. Because again, you're better than that. Alright? Give me 1 Kings, chapter 11. Let's get 1 Kings 11 and 1. Verse 4, actually. I'm reading this quick precept. So when you read, it's like real quick. So when you look at the women on this sign, or the so-called nationalities on this sign, back then the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American women, they didn't deal with calling themselves or degrading themselves as dogs. When you read the Bible, the dogs were actually referred to other people, other so-called white men or white women. Our people compared to them as dogs. Africans, they were compared to dogs. You think God's chosen people, the daughters of Zion, the most beautiful women, delicate women, compared themselves to dogs? Give me Deuteronomy 28 and verse 53. Read this.
This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 11 and verse 4. Verse 1. But King Solomon loved many strange women.
Right, so you got a man named King Solomon. King Solomon had many wives. We're going?
Together with the daughter of Pharaoh and of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonianites, and Hittites.
Right.
Of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go in unto them, neither shall thou come in unto you.
Right.
For surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. And Solomon clave unto these in love. And he had 700 wives.
So King Solomon had 700 wives. Now we're going to see what he called his wives. If he called them B-words, bad bees, hoes, harlots. Let's see what he called his wives.
Princesses.
What do you call them?
Princesses.
Bad bees.
Princesses.
So guess what? If you was, which you should be, if you had a man of an Israelite, so-called black man, if you was married unto him, you would be likened to a princess, or you would be a princess. Again, our women wasn't calling themselves bad bees.
Right.
That's something that you're supposed to call the other nations. Not saying you
Dogs.
just use that word. Nevertheless, you would never want to degrade yourself like that. All right, read this. What you got?
Look at Deuteronomy 28 and 53. Right. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, the flesh. Verse 55. Right. So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his. Verse 56. Right. The tender and delicate woman among you, which should not adventure to set the sole of her feet, the sole of her foot upon the ground.
So at once upon a time, this is talking about the so-called black woman. All the way back in the ancient world. Read that part again.
The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground.
So he said, at once upon a time, our sisters wouldn't even dare to set the sole of their foot upon the ground. Let's see why.
For delicateness.
Why? Because y'all are a precious, delicate beings.
Right.
So imagine that your ancestors that were princesses, they were so delicate and knew that they were at a very high stature and humility, of course, that they wouldn't even set their foot upon the ground. Nowadays, you got our women fighting with no socks on, shoes on, Crocs. They fighting in damn bras, damn breasts coming out, bonnets on. That's madness. All right, but guess what? Again, your mothers, your ancestors, your grandmothers, they were so delicate to where they wouldn't even set their foot upon the ground. And they rode on chariots. It's not like how it is now. Back then, we were at a very high level. That's how we behaved ourselves. Guess what? Now we're at the bottom of society. We've been to slavery, oppression, bondage. Now all of a sudden, we glorify calling ourselves bad beings. All right, I'm this, I'm that. I don't need a man. A, B, and C. Well, again, once upon a time, it wasn't so. You got a precept?
And point two, like in the medieval times in the ancient world, when the princess who would walk, like they would even set stuff on the ground so that they're not walking solely on the floor. But this the book of Sirach, chapter 26, and verse number 25. Right. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog.
The Lord said,
A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog.
it's a bad being.
A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog.
When you go into a different translation, it says a shameless woman, which is a woman that doesn't give a damn about herself. she shall be counted as a B word. Do you care about yourself? So if you care about yourself, then those words shouldn't even come to your mind. Because you will know that you're a princess walking this earth. And that you come from a princess. Give me 1 Peter 3:6. I got you.
This is the book of Judith, chapter 8 and verse 7. She was also a goodly countenance and very beautiful to behold.
So this is Judah, one of your ancestors, one of your foremothers. And like what we was going into, or about to go into, you will be an Israelite, God's chosen people. Judith is one of your foremothers. Read that again.
She was also a goodly countenance and very beautiful to behold.
So Judith was fine. She was a goodly countenance and beautiful to behold. Read on.
Her husband, Manasseh, had left her gold and silver and manservants and maidservants and cattle and lands, and she remained upon them. And there was none that gave her ill word, for she feared God greatly.
And not only was Judith beautiful, but she also feared the Lord greatly.
Right.
See, it's one thing to have looks, but if you don't have looks, well, give me Judith chapter 10, I believe that's verse 21. Right? If you don't have that looks to go with your wisdom, it's not a religion. No, so we deal with something called history, knowing your nationality, your race. So what you're gonna, well, I'm pretty sure you've grown up in America. Have they ever taught you history past slavery time? 1619, never. Have you ever heard your history and then the date was so-and-so BC? These were the so-called black people, so-and-so BC era. You never heard that. Why? Because they're never gonna teach you your history prior to BC. Why? Because you're God's chosen people, the Israelites. Right? You got every nation of people. Let's turn this on real quick. Right?
I'm not trying to interrupt, but I do have to go.
All right, before you go, I got a point for you. So when you look at the sign, everyone has a biblical nationality, right? So-called white man, he can go back to England, Russia, etc. Chinese man can go back to China. Japanese man go back to Japan, etc. So-called black people as a whole, where can we go back to? What's our home? And that's a problem.
Right.
Here it is, we've been in this place, and if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? 20. So out of 20 years of your life, you're telling me you never found out what your homeland was? But again, every nation knows where their homeland is. These are questions that we gotta start asking ourselves. When we start asking these questions, we're gonna come to find out that we are the Israelites, God's chosen people. Real quick before you leave, I got a few verses, Deuteronomy 76.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6.
Right.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Right.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Just an average.
A special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So the Lord said that the Israelites, the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American man, woman, and child are above all people upon the face of the earth.
Right.
So that's when you call yourself a bad bee, you know, that kind of gets us mad.
Right.
Because again, you call yourself a bad bee, you just degrade yourself to the lowest degree.
Right.
When the Lord said the complete opposite, you're above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Read on.
But because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he has sworn unto your fathers, hath the Lord brought you out with the mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen.
Right, and the Lord redeemed us out of Egypt. We go into history, the Israelites, they got put in slavery. We look at our history, what nation of people has been put into slavery? Us, obviously. Right, we've been in America over 500 plus years. Your great-great-grandmother was picking cotton, and her son, his hands was bleeding at 3 years old, having to pick that nasty cotton, blood all on it. These things happen to our people. So again, when you ask with this religion, that's why we answered you and said this is our history. The Bible is our history book.
Right.
When you read this Bible was written by Israelites, to Israelites, for Israelites. By our ancestors, for us. Because again, every nation, they have their ancient records. You go to school, you learn about Alexander the Great, right? You learn about the so-called 50 presidents, right? Ben Franklin, these different people.
My only thing is that they rewrite it a lot. So it's like you never know what to believe. And I believe that like everybody has a religion, but at the end of the day, they all have something in common, which is love.
Israelites.
See that? Israelites. Nevertheless, again, it's not a religious system. This is actually a heritage. That's like you going to the white man's school, you learning about Alexander the Great. Is that his religion or is that his actual history? It's his history. Again, you go into these different ancient empires, they have their own religion, but within that religion, they have their own culture, their history, flags, etc. This is our culture.
Right.
All right, this is not a book. The so-called white man taught you it was a book of religion. And the point that you made said it was changed and altered. This Bible has never been changed nor altered.
That's right.
The same man that put you in slavery told you that. Because if I was to ask you who changed it, what was his name, when was he born, you wouldn't have an answer. Why? Because they told you these things, but they never gave you proof, because there is no proof to show it.
Right.
Again, our ancestors wrote these records for us.
Right.
Give me Deuteronomy 14:2.
Deuteronomy 14.
We got a flyer before you pull off. This is going to be the last word.
Deuteronomy 14:2. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Right.
The Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself.
You're peculiar, you're different. The Lord chose you to be a peculiar people unto himself. That's why we have the best women, we have the best cooks, we have the best men, the best so-called entertainers, the best singers, actors, etc. I mean, what can't we do? You look at the Olympics, we damn near winning in everything.
Right.
We winning in everything, yet we've been in slavery under every nation. Why is that? Because we're the best people. You know?
Above the nations, like above all nations,
Above what?
above all the nations that are upon the face of the earth.
So you have to remember, you're above all nations that are upon the face of the earth.
Right.
And it's one thing to know that, but it's another thing to carry yourself as so. Last verse.
Right, book of Psalms, chapter 12 and verse 6.
Right.
The words of the Lord are pure words,
Right.
as silver tried in a furnace of earth,
Right.
purified 7 times.
These words have been tried 7 times. 7 meaning a complete amount of times. So there's no way how you can say, well, okay, this man wrote this Bible and then that man wrote this part and it doesn't match up. No, because this words, they've been tried. They've been tested
Right.
7 times over.
Yep.
And it came out to prove that these are pure words written by our ancestors.
Right.
All right, sister. So take that flyer, look into it. You'll be an Israelite, God's chosen people. And don't conform to the ways. Look at this. Look at this. These are supposed to be God's chosen people. Do you want to associate yourself with that, sis? Is that what being a baddie is? A hot girl, a city girl? Open your legs wide up to everybody. You don't need a man on. No, that's madness. That's wicked. Here it is, God's choice, and they're supposed to be princesses with a king,
Right.
with modesty on, modest apparel.
It took me 2 hours to do my makeup. Oh my god.
Well, again, sister, hey, this just lets you know this, just niggas. This is not a state of so-called black people.
Right.
You said what? Come back and find out. Get out the car and find out. You will be an Israelite, brother. God's chosen people.
Right.
You will be an Israelite, God's chosen people. All right, look into the information, sister. Oh, you can read.
It's the book of Songs of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 5. I am black but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem.
Right? And that, again, that was King Solomon. I am black but comely, O you daughters of Jerusalem. So this world is just all the way backwards. All the way, that's mad. You got Eve. And that was probably a nasty Kia. 4 Eves hanging up the car. It's swerving.
It was a Nissan Sentra.
Nissan's, yeah, like these Nissan and Kias got spirits in it when it comes to Eve. This Nissan and Kias, they just want to freak off for the night. Jake want to get hostile, someone trying to park the car. And there's no curb right there. You're trying to spin up the tire, but you're trying to park the car. It didn't work out, you're trying to play it off.
Be sick.
And then you want to get hostile. So our people's minds is just, just
The minds are bad. The minds are bad.
yeah, mine's all bad. Mine's jammed up. Nevertheless, this is the state of the so-called black and Hispanic man. And this shows how much work really got to be put into the nation. Go back to Zechariah, the 4th chapter. And finish, Zechariah 1 and verse number 19. Finish that out. Because on the spiritual level, we're those carpenters that got to come back and fix the state of our people. They got to bind them back up. They got to fix up that seal that the so-called white man and the rest of these heathens already crumbled up and threw down. So read this.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 1 and verse 19. And I said unto the angel that talked with me.
And Jay just make me sick sometimes. Here it is, he's trying to give you the words of life. Show you the ways of repentance. And you want to buck up against the Lord. Right? A wise man once said, the curse of Deuteronomy 28 And verse number 54, that's the worst curse.
Right.
Because in order to come out of that curse, you have to love your brother and hearken to your brother. But if your eyes evil towards your brother, how you ever going to come out that curse? So read this.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 1 and verse 19.
Right.
And I said unto the angel that talked with me, what be these? And he answered me, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem.
You know what?
And he showed me for a carpenter, and said, what come these to do? And he spake, saying, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man lift up his head. But these are come to fray them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles.
Right, and we're coming out to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, to cast down the lies, to cast down the wickedness, the soothsaying, the evil eye, and to bind and to heal up our people. You know?
Which lifted up their horn over the land of Judah to scatter it.
Right? Read that last part again.
Which lifted up their horn over the land of Judah to scatter it.
Right, and it's that spiritual warfare coming back, to lift up the horns that were on our people, that were scattered, and to bind them back up. Why? Because we read Isaiah the first chapter, the Lord said there were men from the hill all the way up to the head. Give me that in Isaiah 1, in verse number 10.
Look at Isaiah.
Book of Isaiah chapter 1 and verse number 10. Hear the word of the Lord, ye rulers of Sodom.
Right.
Give ear unto the law of our God, ye people of Gomorrah. To what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices unto me, saith the Lord? I am full of burnt offerings of rams and the fat of fed beasts, and I delight not in the blood of bullock. Verse 5.
Right.
Why should ye be stricken anymore? Ye will revolt more and more.
The Lord said, while you strict, you're just going to revolt more and more. Right? When you try to tell Jacob stop and listen to the word, guess what? He's going to revolt. When you try to stop Eve from swerving and crashing into other cars, guess what? They're going to revolt. When you tell Jacob stop killing your brother, come back to the Lord, they're going to revolt. The Lord said you're going to revolt more and more. And that shows you that that's so-called black men. Because if the Lord would have went, give me Ezekiel, you can drop that piece again. Give me Ezekiel chapter 3. In verse number 1, the Lord said if we would have went to any other nation, they would have hearkened. But yet, we come into a nation whose language is not strong, whose language is simple, and they're still gonna be rebellious and do their own thing. Hold that, bring this up.
Again, Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 1.
Right.
Moreover, he said unto me, son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll, and go speak unto the house of Israel.
Right, he said, go speak to the house of Israel, the so-called black and Hispanics, you know?
So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll.
Right.
And he said unto me, son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then did I eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. Verse 4, and he said unto me, son of man, go, get thee into the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them.
Right.
For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech.
So we're not sent to a people of a strange speech, right? The house of Israel doesn't speak some strange language from out of the earth. You know?
And of a hard language,
Right.
but to the house of Israel.
Right? So we just sent to Negroes, hard-headed men, right? So-called Negroes and Spics, right? Rebellious nation. You know?
Verse 6, not too many people of a strange speech and of a hard language,
Right.
whose words thou canst not understand.
You know what?
Surely I had sent thee to them.
So if the Lord would have sent us to the Ammonites, right? The Lord would have sent us to the Edomites, the Canaanites. And again, the Edomites, that's a very bold statement. If the Lord would have sent us to the Edomites, they would have hearkened. They would have got down with the law. They would have said, well, we said in Exodus the 24th chapter, verse 6, but they would have actually kept it. Esau would have been ruling the earth if he would have never sold his birthright. Read it. And that's madness. The Edomites, the Canaanites, the most vile nation, they were willing to be more on fire for the Lord than its own chosen people. Again, its own chosen people are getting into shootouts as we speak, kidnapping one another, raping one another, committing fornication, adultery. But guess what? If it was the other way around, best believe we would have been in captivity under the Edomites for the rest of eternity, because they would have kept the law and the covenant. So we don't.
Surely had I sent thee to them,
Right.
they would have hearkened
They
unto
would
thee.
have what?
They would have hearkened unto thee.
They would have hearkened. And again, that's a very bold statement by the Most High. If he would have sent us, or if he would have sent us to the basest people, read Job the 20th chapter, Job the 30th chapter, and see how base these people are. If he would have sent us unto them, they would have hearkened. Right? You read about the Hamites and all the wickedness that they do with the mud sandwiches and the mosquito pies. Guess what? They would have hearkened. They would have heard that. They would have put that away, stopped eating pork, and they would have put it over fridges, and they would have served the Lord. So go back to this. What you holding?
6. 1 and 2. Isaiah 1:5. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 5.
Yeah.
Why should ye be stricken anymore? Ye will revolt more and more.
Right.
The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint.
Right.
From the sole of the foot even unto the head.
So from the lowest of our people all the way to the mightiest of our people. You know what?
There is no soundness. It's like there is no soundness in it.
Right, meaning we have no order. There's no soundness in it. We're not on one accord. As a nation, everyone's supposed to be on one accord. Look at the so-called Moabite man, or the so-called Chinese man. Look how his nation's on one accord. They have all these nuclear weapons and missiles. Look at Russia. Look at Babylon the Great. Look at these different nations and how they're established under some type of order. Yet you look at the children of Israel. Guess what? We're under no order. We're under no God. Again, we're at a civil war with each other on every block, every hood, everywhere in the world. You know what?
But wounds and bruises of petrifying swords, they have not been closed, neither bound up.
Right, and we have wounds, bruises, and petrifying swords that have never been closed nor bound up. Meaning, we cannot ask me about these nations. Destroy. Come, give me Sirach 43 and 30, Baruch 4 and 28. All right, and that's what the Lord has to have us come out and to do this. And this is how important doing the work is. Because if we was now here, that's what she would have kept calling herself a bad beat, thinking it was cool, thinking that conforming to the ways of Babylon the Great was some explicit. Right, I wish you would have stayed up a little bit longer, but you know, it's the Most High. Nevertheless, Sirach 43 and 30. I'm going to Baruch 4 and 28 first.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 28. For it was your mind to go astray from God. So being returned, seek him 10 times more.
The Lord said,
Seek him 10 times
go
more.
straight.
Seek him 10 times more.
Add fast.
Seek him 10 times more.
Read.
For he has brought these plagues upon you. Upon you shall bring your everlasting joy again with your salvation.
So the Lord's going to bring us joy and everlasting gain and salvation once we begin to seek him 10 times more.
Right.
Bring this up.
Book of Sirach, chapter 43 and verse 30.
out.
When ye glorify the Lord, exalt him as much as you can.
Right.
For even yet will he far exceed. And we exalt him, put forth all your strength.
The Lord said,
Put forth all your strength.
Add fast.
Put forth all your strength.
Be weary.
Put forth all your strength.
Read, and be not weary, for you can never go far enough.
No man can never go far enough when it comes to serving the only true living God, Yahweh. Bashimu Mashiach, Womalak, Hatazadak Yahushua.
Overcame Babylon, we Israel, now we girded up. Ever since we came into the truth, we got our birdies up. Eat this Mac, think you funny, watch how it'll burn you up. I live 3 miles down, by the Sabbath journey up. Esau see us coming up, just watch how we just turn him up. In the kingdom, keep the law, we gon' have them double dutch. Occupy till I come, go ahead and eat this honey up. Anytime I see a blood moon, it got me jumping up. Esau doing coke, yeah, now he fanny up. I done got my spirit up. Now let's just see what's up.